Your retirement dreams are out there. We can help you live them. This is Retire with Freedom with Birmingham's premier retirement planners, Tad and Toni Hill.
Hey everybody, my name is Tad Hill and I am here with my wonderful and talented wife Toni, and this is the Retire with Freedom podcast. And Toni, what this podcast is all about, just in case you didn't know,
in case I didn't know,
is we are retirement planners, and what we do is we help people either in retirement or nearing retirement accomplish the things that are the most pressing on their minds. So here are the questions that people are asking themselves. First and foremost, hey, our paycheck is going to stop, and how are we going to live the life that we're used to living, have enough money and not have to worry about running out? Mm-hmm. And so how we do that is a big deal, but they've also got a lot of other questions on their minds that they're typically not getting answers from their broker, banker, whoever's managing their money, because retirement planning is a much more comprehensive thing than just managing someone's portfolio. Managing the money, having a good investment plan is obviously an important part of that, and we do all of that. Mm-hmm. So we not only do we create investment and income plans for people, but we also help them answer questions like, when should you take Social Security? If you've got a pension decision to make, should you take the lump sum? Should you take the annuity? If you're going to take the annuity, do you take 50% spousal, 75, 100%? Should you pay your house off? Should you keep the rental house or keep the beach house? Or can you afford to buy a beach house and still have enough money to last? Yeah. All of these things that are on people's minds that they aren't getting answers to. What do you do about long-term care? You know, if you're going to spend time in a nursing home, what about Medicare supplements, that sort of thing? So all of this goes into retirement planning, and that's what this podcast is going to do. It is going to take you week by week through the different questions and issues and things that come up.
And how they all work together and how they all interrelate and how one decision affects another decision. So it's really important that you get this right. And yeah, I think one of the best things that I think we do, what I love about what we do, is that every person, however much money they have or whatever they've done or how long they've worked, they always kind of are thinking, do we really have enough?
Right.
Do we really have enough? And here's the thing that I love about that, what we do is there's no reason to worry about, to think about that and to wonder about it.
Yeah.
We can literally examine that, look through everything, and we can definitively answer that question. So, do we have enough? Do we not? What are we looking for? What are the things that they would like to accomplish with what they have amassed? Right. So that's what I love about it, is it's not an unknowable thing, but there's so many people out there just left wondering about it, and I say stop wondering and
right.
Get
They've
some
got
answers.
Questions like, is it okay to go ahead and retire?
Right.
How long do I need to work?
Right.
What lifestyle is sustainable? And so you said, definitively. So one of the things in our industry is we can't say anything that's considered promissory.
Right.
So when we say definitively, I guess maybe a better way to say it is we have a process that we nail down all those things and we show you the numbers. Now, we can't predict the future. We can't control the economy. We can't control pandemics and stock market crashes and those sorts of things. But what we can do is introduce a lot more certainty into the process than somebody just managing your money.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to clarify that, because we've got to be careful about saying things that could be construed as promissory.
That is true. So let me correct.
So I guess we can't definitively do anything.
Right. Okay.
But we can definitely be a lot more detailed and thorough.
And I think that also that this is a wonderful learning opportunity for people, where they have the opportunity to really get introduced to things and concepts and ideas that really they've never thought about it. Just like, here's Social Security, we'll just take it. Or, there's a deeper conversation, and there's a lot more to be thought through. And once you get all those things and get on the other side of that, there's a lot of, there's, like you said, there's a lot, your eyes are open and you know exactly, what we could or should do and how we're going to do it and what that's going to look like and those kinds of things. Instead of just wondering, is it okay, or do we have enough? Or I even have people say, we're never going to be able to retire, but they're going to be fine, you know. So
Yeah.
it's all over the map, and that's what's fun about this.
Well, so let's talk a little bit about, and just before we get off that topic of one thing that a lot of people don't know, Toni, is that most media people, most financial media people, are not licensed advisors. They are celebrities who've written books or have a TV show or a radio show.
Right.
So they can say anything they want. We are licensed advisors, and so we have to follow all of the rules that the SEC and those organizations have, which are designed to protect the public. And so they're good things. So I just wanted to explain that whole, why did I go on that rant about we can't say definitively?
Yeah.
Because what we can't, because we're actually licensed advisors, we can't, quote, promise anything.
Right.
So I just wanted to explain that. But you know, let's talk a little bit about, this is our inaugural podcast, right?
Right.
So we're not really going to get into a whole lot of detail about retirement planning today, but that is what's going to be coming. But let's talk a little bit about what we do. And let me ask you this. What is it that you like the best about what we do?
I really enjoy sitting down with either couples or individuals or families or whatever, and just sitting down with them and finding out what they actually want.
Right.
So if we go like, what if you could get whatever you want? Like, what is it you would like to accomplish? You know?
Yeah, if you could have your perfect vision come true.
Right. What is that? I mean, maybe not. We'll see what that is, but let's start with that. We start with what they want, and then we start looking at, you know, what have they got? What have they saved? How will it be taxed? You know, what are we going to, you know, where are we going to move? How much are we going to travel? All these different things, you know, and what the resources are there. And so it may be they could have retired 2 years ago. It could may be that they can retire right now. It may be they got to work a few more years, but we are going to be looking at it, not just guessing and going like, okay, yeah, retire whatever you want, but let's look at the data.
Well, and one of the things that I love is when people say to me, you know, after we've gotten together and we've put together a plan, or even after our first visit, we haven't built a plan yet. We're just getting to know each other. And I love it when they say, you know, my favorite thing about what we've done today is that I feel like I have more clarity than I've ever had around these things. And I feel like it gives them, it empowers them to just know that they're taking action. And I really do think that our process is significantly more unique than they get other places, and that's because I hear that all the time, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right, you're asking me questions that nobody's ever asked me before.
Right.
You know, you're looking at things that nobody's ever asked me to, you know, and how are we going to do this? And you're uncovering things that our broker hasn't even talked about in the 10 years we've been with them. And so that's what's really fulfilling for me, is just knowing that we're helping people answer these questions that are really pressing on their minds and they're very concerned about, and they don't know how to answer it. And then, you know, the whole process is designed so that when we're done with all of this, they can breathe a sigh of relief and let us take the burden.
Yeah. Well, and also a lot of times, it could be either one of them, but a lot of times it is sometimes the women, they don't feel like people have listened to them before.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a good thing.
I mean, I hear that all the time. You know, my husband does all of this stuff, but, you know, I don't even go to the reviews anymore, because every time I go, you know, he talks over my head, or he is dismissive, and, you know, talks to my husband all the time, never even looks at me. You know, I hear that a lot.
But I mean, I think it's also important that the other thing about that I like is that I think not just me and you, but everybody on our team, all of our advisors here and everything, I think we're really good at speaking and educating and communicating with people on whatever level they're at. That they could be very sophisticated investors, or they don't even pay the bills, like they don't know anything about it. I think it's really important that you're able to work with somebody, and I think we're those kinds of people, in my opinion, that we really are good at communicating what can be done, what's possible, how to get people on track, what it's going to take, and how we stay on track.
So, you know, I think our approach creates clarity, simplicity. It's just common sense. This stuff isn't rocket science, but unless you're a retirement planner, you've never planned a retirement before.
Right.
So you don't know how to do all of this, and let somebody who's done it hundreds and hundreds of times help you.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing, I love having our team of people here at Freedom Financial because we built an amazing team. And so I this, but I love to teach. And so I get a lot of fulfillment out of helping our team members learn and grow and become better at what they do. And, I've been in leadership positions for decades, even before we started this company. And my philosophy has always been, I want whoever works for me to leave. If we end up not working together for some reason, I want them to be better able to be successful in their career and in their lives than when they got here. And that's really the same approach that we take to our clients.
Absolutely.
We want our clients to be better off, significantly better off, with more clarity and hopefully more security and certainty than when we started working with them.
Right. And I think the other thing too is there's so many opportunities out there that are missed by people that they don't understand. Like, I could have been using this strategy or been doing these things or saving in a certain way. There's a lot of tax advantages people are missing. There's a whole lot of things that if just pull over and ask for help, I always say ask for directions, and then that you can get a lot of that cleared up, and you can actually set that aside a little bit and think, okay, I can now focus on some other things.
Yeah.
Instead of be just constantly in the back of my head, oh my gosh, someday I'm going to, not be working anymore. Have we saved enough? Do we have enough? Or is everybody going to be okay? What's going to happen to my family if I'm not here? Those kinds of things. So, it's a good idea really to get these questions answered and all of that off your mind so that you can now focus on other things. Maybe you want to focus on your family. Maybe you need to focus on starting a new business or a company or other things. There's all kinds of things that people would love to accomplish, but this seems to, if you don't have your, head wrapped around, can we retire? Have we saved enough money? Are we doing everything we could possibly be doing? Are we thinking through everything we should be thinking through? If you've got that in the back of your mind, it's hard to focus on something else.
Yeah, for sure. Well, why don't we let people get to know us a little bit, personally, since this is our first podcast, and we're going to be, this whole show is going to be about helping people figure all this out. So just so people know, we live in Birmingham, Alabama. We both grew up here, went to different high schools, and then we met at Auburn University.
And had to sit in alphabetical order in the back of the class beside each other.
The only reason we know each other is because I think in all of my time in college, I think I had one class where they put us in alphabetical order.
Yeah, me too. It was random.
And so it just so happened that you and I are sitting next to each other in accounting class.
Yeah.
In the back of the class, and sometimes we ended up talking instead of listening to the teacher.
Yeah, I was in. My last name was an L, you were an H, and we just ended up the back.
Sat next to each other. Now, I will say this: had it been random seating like most of them, I probably would have figured out a way to sit next to you at some point. Whether the teachers had us sitting next to each other or not, I'm pretty sure I would have made that happen.
Okay.
So we met at Auburn and we started dating there, and then after college we moved to Washington D.C. My brother lived up there, and I actually started out my career in the software industry. We worked at the same company, and then we got married and moved around a bunch. We lived in Pensacola, Florida.
That's what causes kids to happen.
Yes.
We have a kid in every state I think we lived in. So.
That's what you always say, because
I'm not crossing. I'm staying in Alabama because it can't.
Well, we didn't have any children when we lived in D.C., but then we moved to Florida, and we had our oldest Peyton, and then we moved to New Jersey, and we had our middle child Tyler,
who's an advisor for us.
She works here now, and then we moved back to Birmingham, and we had our youngest, Shannon, and then
And we've been here since 1997, and I can't move again because I'm too old to have kids anyway. But if I'm not moving again, I'm scared. I'm scared to move to another state.
So your thing was always we can't move somewhere else because we'll have another baby. Because I wanted 5,
Yeah.
and you after 2.
Well,
It
that's
took me 4 years to talk you into Shannon.
Because that's man-to-man defense. We had been zone defense.
I know, but can you imagine if we hadn't had Shannon?
No, listen. That's
Well, but that's exactly how we'd feel if we'd had 2 more.
I know.
You know, Freddie and Mary.
Freddie and Mary. That's okay. Whoever. All right. Yeah. So.
So that's where we came from, and a little bit about us. Let's
Started our company, and
let's talk about what. So I traveled for a long time and wasn't ever home because people ask us. They say, "How do y'all work together?"
Yeah.
Like if my spouse and I worked together, we that would never work out. We'd kill each other or whatever. But we were apart so much for so long. I kind of feel like we're just making up for lost time.
And we're in different conference rooms and we're in different meetings.
It's funny because
we don't see each other during the day a lot. I mean, we see each other here. We're doing this podcast and everything, but we're not. I mean, we see each other at home, but we don't see each other much here.
Not at work.
Office,
no.
Yeah.
But outside of work, we're pretty much attached to the hip. We spend a lot of time just hanging out on our back deck.
Yeah.
Right.
And we end up actually working there, just talking through things and ideas and our
because we talk about we do as much retirement planning on our back deck as we do here in the office.
We should have named our company Back Deck Retirement Planning.
Because we end up talking about different people's situations and what we're doing with the company and who we need to hire and we need more client service people and all that kind of stuff. I am a musician as a hobby. And you are a listener of my playing music as a hobby.
I don't play music or sing.
So I play music and you listen.
That's right.
So I guess that's one of our hobbies.
That's a very complimentary relationship.
Well,
symbiotic.
Yeah. So I play out and stuff and have done that for years and years. But I have as much fun just again hanging out on the deck, on the back deck, serenading you, singing you songs. That's a lot of fun. So we're gonna make this Retire with Freedom podcast as helpful and not just informative, because information is important, but we're gonna actually, as much as we can on the radio. So if we have visual aids, that helps. We do a television show as well here in Birmingham, and we teach retirement courses. Which, by the way,
let's talk about how they can listen to those and watch those.
And also, we've written books, right?
Yeah.
So I wrote a book on retirement planning. You're in the middle of writing your book that's more focused on women and the things that women. Mine's more general. Yours is focused on women.
Right.
So for our listeners, if you want to know more about how we do things, you can call or text our number or go to the website. We'll send you a copy of the book.
And our number is 205-988-0006.
Say it again.
205-988-0006. So you can text or call that. And my book should be coming out beginning of Q2 into Q1 of 2023.
Yep.
So that all has to go through editing and everything. So that's publishing going to happen. Yours is already out and has been for a while. So I think that's a great way for you to get to know us, because we also talk about stories about ourselves and stuff like that in those books. But we also have a TV show and talk about when those times are on and what channels. And you can also, if you're not in our viewing area, you can watch our TV shows on our website at askfreedomfinancial.com. Tell them when the shows
that's not financialfreedom.com. A lot of people make that mistake. It's askfreedomfinancial.com. You can see our television shows. You can go to our YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. There's a YouTube channel that has the television shows. It also has videos of us doing our podcast. So if you want to just go watch us do this instead of listen to us do it.
But our podcast is Retire with Freedom.
Yep. Pretty much everything we do. Our book is Retire with Freedom. Our radio show, podcast, television show, the courses we teach are all titled Retire with Freedom.
But if you're local, we're on CBS 42 at 11
on Saturdays,
and we're on Fox 6 locally in Birmingham at 10:30 on Sundays.
Yep.
And we have myriad radio shows all over the place and all of the time.
Yeah.
But you can also look at all the times and the stations on our website at askfreedomfinancial.com as well. It's all listed out there.
You can call our number, 205-988-0006, to get on our calendar to do an introductory call. We can figure out whether it makes sense for us to talk. And one thing that for all of you that are not local to Birmingham, Alabama, we have a virtual retirement planning process that we started during the pandemic that we do over Zoom, and it works flawlessly.
Yeah,
and
it's great.
If you had told me before the pandemic that we would be doing retirement planning for people that were not physically here, and that it was going to work well, and they were going to feel just as good about it as everybody else, I would have not believed you.
Well, I got a funny story about that. I have a couple that became clients.
I want you to tell your story, but just to finish that, we have many, 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 many clients.
Oh yeah.
That we've done everything virtually.
Yep. And they're all over the place.
So I interrupted you.
No. This funny story is, I think somebody. It wasn't during 2020 though. It was this year. They became clients. They're really a sweet couple. They don't have a camera on their computer. They didn't have a microphone either. They called in. We put them on speaker in my conference room. They can see me. You know, they're on Zoom. They can see me. They can see my whiteboard and all my screens and everything like that. So they can see everything, they could do to me.
All the planning stuff.
I have never yet seen them. I have no...
Never seen their face.
Never seen both. We laugh about that all the time. And I was like, so I don't even know if you guys have pants on or, what do you want to... I was like, I could be in an elevator.
If you're on Zoom, you couldn't tell that anyway.
Right.
But they might not have a shirt on or something like that.
Right. I mean, yeah. Well, so they probably couldn't tell if I had pants on. But I just thought, I was like, listen, if you see me in an elevator, introduce yourself because I won't know who you are.
Yeah, because they know you.
Yeah. But so the thing is
yeah, I've never had that happen. But
the one good thing that the pandemic forced us all to do as business owners is really be creative about how we could do business and really open it up. So I mean, we've got people all over.
Well, I mean, it was one of the reasons we decided to do this podcast. Because it doesn't matter where you live. Yeah. We can help you. Now, there's some, if you're in another state, there's some things we've got to do to make sure.
But we can do that.
That we're, which we do. So, I mean, we've got clients all over in different states. Yeah. There's just some, there's some logistical stuff on our end we've got to do to get
licensed in
get licensed in that state and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But that's
easy.
Super easy.
Yeah.
I'm probably making it sound like more of a complicated thing than it is. It's very straightforward.
Yeah. So I think, have we introduced ourselves enough for the first?
I think so. We're going to have a blast, and we're going to do our best to help you learn how to plan the retirement that you want and to create as much certainty and security for yourself and your family as you possibly can. And we're glad that you're going to join the journey with us.
Yeah, and bookmark this podcast so you can listen to it every time we were on.
See you next week.
Sign up for a complimentary consultation with Tad and Toni. That's askfreedomfinancial.com.